We've now seen it versus Infuse, and perhaps we could see it versus Millennium SPLYCE. Good words there from Josh. He's making it abundantly clear that yes, he may know Millennium, but they have changed. They are a changed team, and it was evident in their play against shoulders here. And actually, I just caught a quick tweet from Shane from TCM. It's a very interesting statement he made. He said, in fact, I wonder if I can quote it. Yeah, he's predicting a Millennium 4-0 purely because of the inexperience of SPLYCE and them subconsciously being proud of second place. Now, that's the point at the end I actually found most interesting.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that for a lot of reasons here. I mean, I was kind of wondering, you know, if we did have Infused here, it'd be a very close final. I do think, like I said, you know, SPLYCE now have done a great job to beat Infused, but can they take down two top teams? Are they really Titan killers? I'm not entirely convinced they are, and I think this could be just Mill's way, to be honest with you. I was looking at the maps, actually. When I looked at the maps, I'm not 100% sure on that, to be perfectly honest with you. I think we could be seeing a bit of a longer game.
Yeah,
okay.
We could see a longer game, and I think I agree with what Shane said as well, and especially for the three players around Josh. For Josh, I will purely disagree because I think Josh wants to win. There's someone I've teamed with in the past, and he's never going to settle for second place. So, and he's the most influential player in that team from a moral perspective. He's going to be that in-game leader, that vocal guy that's going to make things happen.
And one of the most influential players in our books on that respawn was Hawkey. I mean, you can see him there. You got to cast it as well, Jonas. He was truly outstanding in that opening hard point in their previous game, and keep your eyes on him. Someone that actually has been relatively quiet is the man on your screens now, Gio. We haven't seen much from Vortex. Is he a player you hold in high regard?
I hope he will perform better than he did in the last two series, because, I don't know, when I was watching the COD World League European Division, I felt like sometimes he was capable of doing something impossible. There is also a play he had made in the top 5 inside the third deal of Fringe, inside White, and he made a crazy play there using kinetic armor. So I'm really looking forward to him to step it up, making crazy plays and drive his team to the win.
Keep your eyes on Vortex. But yeah, I mean, Jonas, you outlined Josh as the individual to watch. We can start to address their counterpart. This is Millennium. This is... Oh, hang on, Bryce has got very excited all of a sudden.
Now, for quite a while here, I don't know if it was mentioned, Josh has been kind of a Jerd kryptonite.
Oh.
I don't know whether or not he can be a kryptonite for Mad Cat, Swanee and Tommy, but apparently, you know, he's a little bit of a kryptonite to Jerd, and that's something I just thought worth mentioning here if we see that matchup come into play.
Actually, Jerd's first event, I was teaming with Josh at the time, and we beat him. And so I think that started that way.
So we will give that credit to Josh,
yeah.
Not Jonas.
But yeah, absolutely. But what's interesting as well about that is that we had the same discussion surrounding the vitality phenomena, where they keep beating Millennium, and one of the statements was that Gataga is similarly a kryptonite to Jerd, and perhaps when these strong, very omnipresent SMGs are in the game, like Gataga, like your Josh, they can cause problems for Jerd if he doesn't have that freedom of movement that he often gets.
Well, that was one of the things we talked about with tempo. We said, you know, Jerd's a great player, but there wasn't enough baiting for him, not enough trading around him, and he can't make these great plays and use his movement if he feels like he's got to win 3 gunfights just to make a move here. So even things like actually Swanee, even though Swanee like died a few times, sort of pushing the hill with an RK5, usually a lot of times you see Tommy like just Swanee, pre-aim that with an M8, very slowly peek and move in at a snail's pace. Pushing in with the RK5 at that kind of speed, even if it just makes a player look a different way. It means Jerd can then come in and pick up a 2-piece, or he can get the trade, rather than what was happening before, as they're just going in one by one.
And one of the players from Millennium that also proved themselves was Tommy alongside Jerd. It performed absolutely phenomenally in the semi-finals, and actually he's standing by now ready to take a little bit of a chat with OJ. We're going to look at Millennium under a microscope, and when we come back, we're going to be seeing OJ chat to Tommy.
My whole family follow through any events I attend and online. I'll always get a message from my mum or one of my brothers saying, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'd like to say I could stick around for a couple more years. I feel like I've got the capability and skills to do so. The time I'd stop is when I feel like I'm not helping a team and I'm holding them back. So I wouldn't really want to go from competing at the top to then just dropping and competing for the lower places. So whenever I feel like that's happening, then I know that's it. It's kind of a weird one because you never really expect to be known from playing a game, and to be known to the extent where you've got 70,000 plus followers. It's just a weird feeling. My main following is from the French side of things, because I've teamed with the likes of Gotarga, Carnage, Maxi, Riskin, and under the organisation Millennium, who are French too. So it sort of all blew up for myself when I did go on to take on that challenger team and the French players and the French roster. I'd say in France I'd get recognised more than I would in the UK. I don't speak a lot of French, but if there was one thing I'd like to say to all of the French supporters is merci beaucoup.
And I'm now having the pleasure of being joined by Tom from Team Millennium. Thank you so much for coming down here for a quick chat before the big final game. Now, the guys on the panel just touched upon it, calling Josh the kryptonite of Jordan. You had a good explanation for me why you think that's actually not applicable.
If you look at the results, every single time Josh has beaten Jerd, he's been alongside Madcat. So I wouldn't really say it's a one-sided thing and Josh always beats Jerd. It's more of the combination between him and Madcat that sort of proved better.
Yeah, so you guys have quite a history, Josh. I mean, in some sort of combination, he's always been playing with one of you guys. Does that help, giving some intel, or is it like Josh said in his interview that like too much things have changed, it doesn't really matter?
As Josh said, a lot of things have changed, but we know Josh in and out. Like, we know what he's like if he's losing or what he's like if he's winning. So we're going to use that to our advantage, and if we take the lead, we'll just let him know, so we'll try and keep his head down.
Wonderful. Now, you said a lot of things have changed. Talking about change, let's look at your team. 3 weeks ago, I mean, you didn't perform bad, but there was a bit of a struggle. Now, looking at the game you played today, you came back stronger than ever. We saw a different style from Swanee. What else has changed? Have you made other changes?
The loss at EGL was really a wake-up call, because we don't really go in too confident, but it was hard to explain what was going on. We just weren't really trying. Well, not trying, but just not playing right. And just after that, we went back, talked over things, fixed a few issues, and made sure we come back here stronger like we showed.
What's the process there? Is that something like looking at the games and then everyone's just like huddling together and then you're trying to like pinpoint it, or?
It's more just online. We'll just jump in a Skype call or something, and then we'll talk over a few things that each person feels we're doing wrong and what would benefit the team, try it out in a few practice scrim sessions, and then whatever's improved or working better, we'll look back and compare it and just go from there.
Now, if we're looking at your opponents, I mean, SPLYCE, they had quite a run. They had some really insane games. I'm pretty sure you guys have been watching them. What were your thoughts on that performance? Did you expect to meet them here in the finals?
I never expected to meet SPLYCE. We were expecting, if we made it ourselves, to play Infused in the final, but they managed to come back with 2 insane SD gameplays from Josh against XL. And then they clutched up again last map against Infused 2, so it's unexpected, but now we know their strong mode is S&D, which they're dragging them through.
All right, then. So if I would have to ask you for a prediction there, and I know you're a very humble person, so you're probably not giving me a 4-0 answer here, but what do you think is going to happen?
If we take the first map, I think we'll go on to win 4-1, but if we lose the first, I think it could go all the way to 7.
All right. What do you think is their strongest map there?
Strongest map for ourselves or the other team?
For them.
The strongest modes will be S&D from them, so as long as we take the first one and get a lead in S&D, I think we'll just push them out.
Wonderful. Well, we can't wait to see if that's going to happen or not. Good luck to you and your team, and we're going to head back to our panel.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Tommy there, looking quietly confident, as they always have been. Millennium, definitely. I think that semi-finals did an awful lot for Millennium and their mindset. I think that was going to be one of the biggest hurdles they're going to have overcome in a while. There does seem to be, and in the words of Reedy, a fire lit underneath them after EGL, and they do want to kind of, I don't want to say kind of reclaim the title of God Squad, but it does feel like you guys are all...
They don't want to reclaim it, mainly because they don't like the title.
Yeah, they hate it.
But a lot of people, it's kind of what's playing in people's minds here. I really don't want to disagree with Tommy when I say I think SPLYCE have got the best chance in S&D. I mean, they do have a great chance here, but like I said, again, if this was, 3-4 weeks ago, I'd be saying SPLYCE's best chance is actually on the hard point, but we'll find out whether or not that actually ends up ringing true here. I said it's very difficult to disagree with Tommy. He's a genius when it comes to Call of Duty. But I said those first 2 maps are absolutely crucial. The same way they were against Epsilon, SPLYCE have to do what Epsilon couldn't.
But you know what? I think that all the eyes are pointed towards Millennium. I mean, they have to confirm their God Squad. They have to prove it. They have to take this title home. I mean, what will happen if SPLYCE win the first map?
Not a lot.
Not much.
It will be 1-0. I think that's what was going to happen. But jokes aside, I think I agree with you, Bryce. The first 2 maps are going to be very important going into that one. If Millennium takes the first 2 maps, then I think it's going to be a 4-0. But I think SPLYCE has a good chance to take either the first star point, the first SND.
So
They have nothing to lose.
This does feel like the discussion we're having right now is you guys are suggesting that it comes down to the first two maps, Hardpoint Stronghold and SMD Hunted. You're suggesting if one of those two doesn't go the way of Splice, this is a clean cut 4-0.
Yeah.
Is that the same sentiment across the board, Bryce?
Yeah, pretty much for multiple reasons. Not only because, you know, we're basically just rating Millennium very highly on the uplink and the CTF,
Yeah.
but also mentality-wise, Splice are going to be sitting there staring at the barrel. They know who they're playing against. One of the things here, I know, you know, a lot of them won't be thinking about it, but across from them is Madcat, Tommy, Swanee and Jerd, and you probably could not think of any bigger names in European Call of Duty and its history than those four.
And that's going to be playing on the minds of those young bloods, right?
Yeah.
These newer names that perhaps haven't had this kind of the limelight shed on them for so long. I mean, this was kind of, in the words of Josh, the biggest tournament he's ever been in terms of where he's at. He's in a grand finals of the World League Stage 1. Like, this is massive for him and his newer roster.
Yeah. And that's a lot for Josh to say it, but now imagine Josh is the veteran of this team. So if this is the biggest tournament for Josh, imagine what it's like for those players. They have the trophy in front of them, they can be the best team in Europe, but we'll find out if they have what it takes to take it.
And that's going to be coming up very, very shortly. Hardpoint Stronghold will be our first. Now, I want to come back to an earlier point, an earlier discussion we started, Gio. I suggested Hardpoint Stronghold was more leaning towards Millennium in the way that Evac and Breach was more leaning towards Splice because of their kind of SMG prowess. But you actually had a counterpoint that you think SMGs work well in Stronghold.
I don't know. I think that 3SMG works pretty well on Stronghold, especially for the last tier and the second one. Just for the fourth tier, you need 2 AR to hold the power spots. And I don't know. I think they could... Oh my
Which
God.
AR? Which AR, Gio? I'll let you continue your point with the bans and protects on screen.
Okay, that's... Okay, I really like those bans because Splice wanted to play with the SMGs, want to play with 3 SMG. They want to put Millennium in a disadvantage, banning the M8 and then the XR2. So...
Wasn't that Jerd, though?
Can we just go back over those assault rifles?
Yeah,
Oh, what's Jerd? And Madcat?
I think honestly, because of things that I've heard Millennium say, I think they don't care. I think they literally don't care. They'll pick whatever AR is still available. They've been training with all of them.
Their game.
And at the beginning of the season, we've seen instance where Swanee, everyone wanted to basically shut down Swanee. They'd ban like 5 ARs, and Swanee wouldn't care. He would take the Shiva, he would take the ICR. I think he's comfortable playing with anything.
That we may actually see the Shiva in this game in that case. This is very curious for me. Like I said, for me, for Millennium, you know, the team that's trying to increase their play speed, it's not a bad set of bans here to take out 3 assault rifles. I mean, you know, Swan's going to probably run a HVK, or he's going to switch up and try to actually put more pressure on around here. But a lot of the times you'll be picking them to kind of want an AR in Swan's hand. But no, I think it's a great pick, but may end up actually playing in Splice's favour.
Okay, and that's just because you've basically taken all of the...
I really rate Splice when they come to that, like I said, that high-tempo, fast gameplay. Yeah. I think they're very, very good at it.
And again, Stinches, every time they banned both the Manowar and the M8 on respawn, they won it. That's one star.
I do want to... taking the assault rifle away from Bance, but recently in this LAN and online he has been very influential with the SMG to the point where he is actually leading the fray with a submachine gun. And so that, I mean, he says he likes to play everything. I think that the dawn and the days of banning Bance out with one ban is gone, is long gone, and that Man of War maybe wasn't necessarily the wisest of bans from Millennium.
I think we will see Bance changing weapons between hills, like for the first one, picking up an HVK. That's the main assault rifle we're going to see, and maybe the Shiva from the start.
Maybe Shiva
just for the start,
to keep on the spawn as well. I think Josh is going to be the AR for Splice.
I hope you guys were paying attention on Breach, because Vortex has picked it up again. It is time for the Purifier, and that's not present on Millennium.
Yeah, they've gone double lethal.
Double lethal.
Double lethal. I believe we saw a side there as well. So side and Purifier. They've left out active camo, whereas Millennium have taken it. So
we often make the point on Hardpoint Stronghold it is one of the few where Purifier works very well. Maven's counterpoint was that in North America it is also picked up on Breach. But the reason is because of that money hill, because of that one rotation where really you can hold one, if not both, of the entrances into that hill.
Yeah, Crimsix uses the Purifier as well for optic all the time on the bunker hill, so I think that's where we're going to see it come into play. And we've seen Vortex earlier just be so influential with it, so I think it's a great pick.
So also overclock is available, so we will see for sure a lot of time this specialist to come down to be shown.
And you know what I'm about to ask you, Gio. You know what's coming. I need to know your prediction.
I will stick with Maven. I think that Maven is speaking right now with Momo and is saying SPLYCE are going to win this.
Yeah, he did it once. I don't know if Maven's predictions will do it again, but okay, interesting. A very outlandish pick, I think.
I want to say Millennium, but he said SPLYCE, and Gio is always right, so it might be SPLYCE, but I'm still going with Millennium.
Oh, God. Bryce, are you seriously going to be joining them?
Well, I've got to make a prediction if that's what you mean, yes. I'm going to go with... Oh, I'm going to say SPLYCE because I feel like it's such an important map, and that may be wrong, but like I said, if SPLYCE want any chance in this series, this has to be the start of it.
That is weird. Our Horror Desk, after suggesting Millennium were going to be walking and trouncing over SPLYCE, have been perhaps a little bit entranced by the boys from SPLYCE. The underdog story could very well become a reality. And to guide you through that story, the two novelists joining the desk for the grand finals are going to be Momo and Maven.
As you said, the grand final is upon us. Now, Momo, is this going to be the marathon victory for SPLYCE, or will it be another Millennium massacre here? Can they pull off the 4-0? Because it only goes one of two ways for me. I really think it's a Millennium 4-0, or it's like a Game 7 win for SPLYCE.
It's a 4-0 stomping or a fairy tale ending for SPLYCE. SPLYCE do not win unless it's the map 7. Everyone on the desk seems to have SPLYCE down for this one. I've got a bit of a feeling inside myself, but Millennium just can't come off a hot 4-0. I'm going with those for this time. But we're jumping on board with Jerd first of all. This is such an important game, and I said it, I think there's CTF and Uplink, they're going Millennium's way, so SPLYCE, they need to win these first two maps.
Well, what's interesting is I think SPLYCE has been one of the submachine guns, but you have the all-equalizer in Jerd. He is a man on a mission this weekend, and he is going to be just contesting here. Got a player right on the other side of the voice. He won a step well, and as that kill gets picked up, he should challenge. Yeah, any points you can get with this first neutral hard point is huge. Tough to get a big lead, but SPLYCE locking it down for now, getting the kills outside the hard point, and Josh destroying Mad Cat there as they continue to pick up the lead. But now the rotation comes over to top management. Want to get set up here for the push. There's one. Second coming to his right. Is he ready for it? He reacts, pops the heat wave, and that's what Overclock does for you, baby. Barely into the game, and he's already making big plays with the specialist abilities.
Josh is 7-1. He's on a 5-kill streak now. He's close to those score streaks. And he's 300 away from the Wraith. This guy, you know, he has a point to prove, and yes, he only beats Jerd with Mad Cat, but can he beat them both today? That's the real question.
Well, he's going big here early. The 6th streak, can it continue? The Wraith, can it come out? He gets the call if there's one across. He's going to push. Is he able to pick up the kill? There's a second player there at far. He wins that gunfight. No one is taking him one-on-one right now. 200 off the Wraith. What a big opening this would be for SPLYCE. You don't win that gunfight, but Josh does it. 8-kill streak, 10-1, and finally he drops 75 off the Wraith.
Not only 75 off the Wraith, Jerd makes a 3-piece to break that hill, and he picks up the 4th. Jerd doesn't know it right now, but that was such a crucial kill.
And streak after streak. First it was Josh going big, then it was Jerd's turn. The difference, though, no streaks coming in for Jerd, whereas you had Josh going massive for the squad. It's basically a tie game right now. We're going to rotate over to half wall.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see when this Lightning Strike and Hellstorm come in, because we're going to some hills where it's open. You know, there's nothing protecting these guys. Heatwave available for Josh again. That overclock is going to be crucial.
Well, he has 3 down for a second there for SPLYCE. Hockey, the lone man here to make a difference. He picks up a couple before slowing down. And look at the start right now. You think they'd be fresh off of that series. Mad Cat at 3-8, Tommy at 2-9. They are not slaying very well, but they still are hanging in the game as it's basically tied here.
Yeah, they actually escaped a Lightning Strike. No kills for Josh on that one. He's 12-4. However, Jerd is the one carrying them through at the moment. 16 kills. I will say that's more than his whole team combined right now.
You know what I said? The all-equalizer. You're seeing it right now. Struggle, bust from the rest of the squad, but not for Jerd. Having a massive opening. A couple of minutes to this one, but we'll see as they still try to control half. We'll be rotating soon here over to Rocks. First man in, what do you know? It's Jerd. He picks up one before dropping. We'll get eyes on with Swanee with the HVK. Obviously, 3 ARs targeted in the Band Protect. It's going to make him use a little more variety here. getting one before falling. Let's slow things down a bit here. We'll check out Bance, who's going to be dealing with players coming out of Mansion.
Yeah, Millennium look like they're going for a bit of a pinch here, trying to get the spawns and push in from either side. Bance and Tommy are going to exchange there as Vortex does pick up one. And now, I mean, you can saturate a lot of points from this hill, but at the moment it was just kind of being contested back and two. No team solidifying this hill.
No, they are not. The pre-fire there, almost filthy, but Jerd cannot clean it up. This game, I mean, there's not even been like 10 points separating them since the opening few seconds. This is a wild one for sure, but the next hard point is where I think things will start to open up. Now, who was it again that had, well, it's Millennium didn't opt to do a purifier, right? And Vortex does have it. And you can see he doesn't have overclock on right now, but I believe he probably ran it at some point and made sure he had this popped up. Now, if they can win these couple opening fights, they do. They get the kills. He's going to be the one watching this backside. You'd like to see him get inside with the purifier there as he's going to take out Jerd with the kinetic armor. And here we go. Flame on.
Yeah, and you can see they've got the setup right now. Vortex just testing it. It's working at the moment, heating things up. And I've got to say, Millennium have a big job on their hands because only Swanee and Tommy, I believe, have their specialists to break this.
And that's 3 down. Tommy was the last one up here. Bance holding the back spawns. And who's this player coming in from behind? They're not ready for it at all. That's a kinetic armor being popped. Picking up 2 in from behind. And now the lead starting to open up. The Money Hill is claiming its name as they're going big. The heat wave comes in. Doesn't matter. Bance has his back with the sight. He's got a 4 streak going. And SPLYCE already proving they can hang with the God Squad.
Yeah, Hawkeye throughout this whole tournament is dropping figures. 20 bomb for him already. And look at that. 4 kills back to back again. Only 1 separating them. You know what? Mad Cat and Tommy really need to change something because they're both 8 and 18 right now. Only Jerdy's actually doing something.
And it doesn't surprise me because you've seen how good this team is when they get into the 3, basically 4 subs when you're talking about an HVK, right? It's almost a sub in that spot, and that's where SPLYCE, I think, has the advantage. You can see that starting to develop for sure. Let's watch Hawkeye, though. He's on another 4 streak here as they're going to look back to Vi here for the second side of rotations. We're going back to top middle. Let's go to King Jerd. He's got to keep it going because if it isn't for his big game, they are blown off the map with like a 250 to 50 score right now if it wasn't for him hanging tough.
Yeah, Jerdy's literally doubling everyone on his team pretty much. But we did say about 2 hills ago there was only 10 points separating them. Look at that scoreline. We're seeing a 60-point game right now, and SPLYCE are heating up. Josh 22 and 15, Hawkeye 26 and 18. Things are getting a little bit out of control, and Millennium are letting it slip here.
They're holding strong, trying to pick up what time they can here before we rotate over. Look at the snap there as he's able to grab one, but now the rotation coming in. Let's take a look. Who's been the first man to set up over towards Manchi of Josh holding the back. We'll look at Hawkeye, who's holding rock side. The break's going to come from the middle. The first man in is going to be Mad Cat for Millennium. He's checking. Does he see the player there? He does, but he gets pushed from the side, not able to pick up the player lying behind table. The trades coming in. Swanee can't push the back. Jerd in, set up here by stairs, and now they just have to get the hold. They're trailing by 40 plus.
Yeah, they don't want to give any more points up. They've narrowed the lead just a little bit by 10 points on that kind of scrappy hill in the middle, and Jerd has control. Not for long. Josh, another double kill to his name, and now trades come in. Who's going to take control? Mad Cat is the one. Active camo enabled. See what he can make of this one.
Well, he's just trying to find somebody. It's going to run out as soon as he may get pushed. I do want to check Josh, actually, when he comes off a respawn, because he's been having a huge game. He's got a minute to go. He's +9 right now, having an overall solid performance from him. But who's coming around the outside? That's Tommy. He's going to be meeting up with a couple players in a second here. Josh would have bumped into him, but he went back to hold the spawns for the next hard point. Unfortunately for him, Tommy tees him up. Tommy picks up a second one. He has his heat wave as well, and he is pushing back rocks here to make sure he can control for half wall.
Yeah, do not rule Millennium out of this. They're only 20 points behind. They're being outslayed so heavily. Jerd obviously the only one kind of countering that. But 10 points now. Millennium creeping up on SPLYCE's lead. This is going down to the wire, and this hut is going to be interesting because there's no score streaks in play this time round.
Could not agree more, and you can see why that HVK, it's a little tough to use at range, right? Definitely compared to a lot of the other ARs that were taken out in this one. It was unbelievable how heavily they were target coming into it, and you can see why SPLYCE feels so confident with this fast-paced submachine gun game. You see flashbangs coming in, trying to break through here, but we're getting closer and closer to our second bunker. We'll go to rocks, and then it's the big one again. Can Millennium close it out there?
Yeah, Millennium actually taking the lead here. They have a 10-point lead back-to-back now. Millennium starting to heat up, and I really think that came from Tommy actually getting the anchor. And he's on a 3-kill streak now. He hasn't died for a while. And now they're actually going to take control of this. If Josh does fall.
I hopped in because that was big. If he could have got him behind there, maybe got a 2-piece there and controlled spawns. But right now, looking good for Millennium. They were down by, what, as much as 50 or so? Now they've extended their lead out to 30+. Bance coming in, breaking with the HVK. But he's got a world to beat. As you saw the entire roster of Millennium set up here, and one by one, SPLYCE just keeps on falling. They're just pushing in and cannot seem to get the break they need.
I mean, all the trades are coming in, but all the important kills are going in Millennium's favor. Jerd on the hill, once again, still staying strong. How's he alive at this point? However, 25 seconds, who's going to make the rotation? I see 2 arrows kind of edging towards that bunker hill now. Last time, SPLYCE got the better of Millennium. It looks like Millennium have rotated a little earlier.
Can Josh do it? He has the heat wave to go, but he's going to get tagged up before he can even get in. They're trying to fight across, but it's going to be Swanee. Tommy set up here nicely, ready to go. Remember, they don't have a purifier, so a lot of pressure actually going to be on this guy in the back, though. That's going to be Mad Cat, and he doesn't have a long-range rifle to deal with the pressure that's coming at him. There are 3 players pushing, and he's tagged up. He's able to turn those incredible shots. Grabs one before ultimately dropping, and now the pinch is going to come in as Millennium's trying to hold on, but Tommy has so much work to do.
Yeah, Tommy did make 1 kill. I mean,
That's
better than nothing. However, SPLYCE, this could be damaging for Millennium right now. They're going all 4 round the back.
And if they get through the 1 player, they still have to deal with the purifier of Vortex, but they haven't been able to beat Bance. Bance is back here being a nuisance. You see the pop for Scythe, but doesn't really lead to much. And now there it is. Can he pick up a couple? He gets 1. He slows it down, finds a second, finds a third. They're all toasting there as you see the purifier being a difference maker. And we may have yet another lead change here in a couple of seconds.
So many specialists being used. That is the effect of Overclock. That's why he's taken out so much. Hawkey picks up 1. Swanee's trades is 209 to 204. We're going to the wire. Swanee getting taken down by a 2-piece from Vortex. And Millennium going to pick up the scrap points.
Jerd, 41 and 35. If this one keeps going, he's looking at a 50 bomb. If this is an extended game, he's watching the back here from Mansion. He's going to get an easy kill on Josh. He has kinetic armor locked and loaded. 1 at half ball, 1 pushing the hard point. He doesn't care. He's picking up everything. 3 streak. Let's look back at spawn. There's the 4th. The shot's on target as Jerd is taking over. Not able to extend the streak, but he has done some damage here, giving a little breathing room to Millennium, but it's only a 15-point advantage. It's coming down to the wire here, Momo.
Yeah, and I can see Jerd's kinetic armor being a difference maker. Tommy does have a specialist too. However, these are scrappy points, but Millennium just seem to be taking a little bit more from it. And look at this, Swanee and Tommy, HVK buddies here. Jerd adds to the fire as well. Millennium could end it right here.
Jerd pushing through. He has the kinetic, and that's going to allow him to turn, not win it. But Swanee still streaking here. They only need 12 more points. We're going to rotate over in 10 seconds unless, well, I think they need 1 more. Okay, it's contested, so they definitely cannot close it out here. We're at least going to go inside of Mansion. It's Bance that's inside. He's up top. He picked up a kill. Vortex grabbing a couple as well. And now you need the ultimate hold from SPLYCE.
And look at the interaction. Minimum amount of kills is 35. However, coming down to the wire.
Hier guckst du auch gerade Millennium gegen SPLYCE. Final. Wer ist das beste Team von Europa, Junge? Muss angucken, ist richtig spannend. Uso lädt sein Headset auf, der redet nicht.
You see the RK5 on the kill feed. That's a couple for Vortex, but now they're spawning out, trying to rotate in. Time ticking away. Jerd's inside. Give me the game 1.
Millennium gewinnt.
Jerd carried them early. They came together late, and Millennium is taking it tight and hotly.
Leute, mal kurz weg.
Yeah, that was back and 2 and bringing up the scoreboard, just seeing exactly what happened. How many kills? I mean, 37s for Swanee, 47 for Jerd. I mean, Hawkey on the other side of things dropping 44. You just can't look past that 47 from Jerd.
Jerd had just a huge game. You worried if the advantage went to SPLYCE when this became more sub-on-sub. Fast, close-range battles, but Jerd, the equalizer, just doing everything he can to carry the load early, because at one point he had more kills than the rest of his team through a couple minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, at the very start he was dragging them through. They did pick it up towards kind of that bunker hill when they gained control, but before that, if he wasn't starting hot, they could have gone down maybe 100 points, 120 even.
All right, well, you've heard our thoughts through game 1. I want to see what the desk is thinking. Machine, it's all you, buddy.
Fantastic stuff from Jerd and the boys. Thank you so much, Maven and Momo. It does feel like that's the storyline coming out of that one, right? Like, if it wasn't for Jerd. I mean, at one point it was Mad Cat and Tommy. They had like 16 kills when Jerd was dropping like quadruple 8, which is maths 1632. So, I mean, he was doing absolutely fantastically. And at this point in time, don't laugh at my maths attempts, okay? I'm a slow-brained man when it comes to numbers, but I get there in the end. Bryce, opening thoughts on that one. I can't see past Jerd.
No, it is a lot of story going on about Jerd here. I mean, a lot of SPLYCE played really well, and I mean, Josh was going berserk as well. He started off, and then Jerd started pulling off 3 pieces, and then he went around and killed Josh as well and said no. And yeah, I think a lot of that game here, I mean, don't get me wrong, it could have been, you know, his interactions were super high, and this is the pressure I'm talking about here. But yeah, I mean, Jerd, he kept the slaying, he kept them in the game. I think that's the most important thing here. It's not, you know, just dropping those 50 kills. It's when Millennium were not doing well, Jerd was, and he prevented them from going miles down.
Yeah.
Johnny?
And that enabled that comeback to happen. Yeah. I mean, SPLYCE was
Johnny.
so close at one point, Jonas. I was seeing big stuff from Hawk.
Johnny.
Close for a while, but I just felt like in the end, exactly like you said, Jerd kept them alive until the others could wake up. And you were saying earlier, Brycey, that you hadn't seen the full Jerd you felt like this year.
This is full force Jerd.
Yeah, you must be happy now because you've just seen it, and if he plays that way, it's going to be complicated for SPLYCE. But props to them, to be fair, it was very close until the end. I almost thought they had that last rotation, they would be able to keep it in, so fair play to them. It was a great game.
Someone that thought that they definitely had the comeback potentially on the cards was Geo. You were sitting there like, it could happen, it could happen, it could happen right down to those final few points.
I was thinking about this. I think that when it came to the third rotation, to the first steal, SPLYCE just rushed too many things. They went every single time through the middle, trying to jump inside, try to contest it. When kills, more important kills, especially in the ad glitch in the middle map.
And also one of the comments we were kind of critiquing the boys from Millennium on was actually, Bryce, you were making an observation. You were suggesting Tommy may be falling into his old ways regarding his pacing. Can you maybe elaborate?
Towards the kind of the beginning of that, they were really struggling to, like I said, I mean, SPLYCE is a tempo squad. Very fast, very energetic, and I thought that that might have been the issue for them. And was Tommy relieving a little bit of pressure too much, maybe trying to make a few kills, bring himself back into it. And then, you know what, Tommy and Mad Cat kind of just stepped it up a little bit, started to kind of actually making those trades more efficiently. Swanee, you know, he was actually pushing out a lot as well. I said, this is the new Millennium.
Swanee played well.
But yeah, this is like a whole new tempo thing they can actually able to deal with. 3 weeks ago, I think SPLYCE would have taken that map. Millennium able to take it now, and for me, it's S&D or done. You might as well just call this the final map, because if SPLYCE don't win it, I think this is over.
Yeah, that's what we're
thinking. CTF definitely is going to be very, very scary. And so we have set the scene. It comes down to search and destroy for SPLYCE, and we're going to have the ban and protect beginning right here, right now. It is going to be on Hunted, a map that I have to raise. I mean, Millennium, they've only lost four games, right, in the entirety of the World League. 2 of those were to Vitality, and twice it was on S&D Hunted. This is a map that they have lost to notoriously against their French kryptonite. But you raised the end of my point, Jonas. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Thank you very much. Go on, Jonas. You can end that. You can carry on.
Well, yeah, they just. I agreed with you actually, because they won it against Vitality, but oh no, actually it wasn't Hunted that just won. That was Redwood against Epsilon. So my bad on that for talking and saying something wrong. Alex,
I'm leaving this with you, Jonas. It's fine. You made your bed. You sleep in it.
Yeah.
Well,
no more, it's just you, Jonas, now.
Okay, I'll just come back to you, Brycey, and say you were right, and say that I think it's going to be the last map. So
don't try and butter me up. I'm on machine side.
Right,
it's your baby now.
You carry on.
Ban and protects are underway. Overkill is gone immediately, and that's just going to be trying to level out this playing field. Very, very standard. I think these are 2 teams that very much just want the same vanilla gameplay. They do not want to be flashbanged or concussed. They do not want any sniper and SMG combinations. And actually, talking of sniper, goodbye thermal. It's actually Millennium who choose to remove that one.
That's a good choice. I always say since the beginning of the qualification and the relegations that a thermal sniper inside cave, it would be really painful, even on offensive than on defensive side.
Yeah, and Benz has been actually one of the only players this weekend using a sniper with thermal. We've seen it earlier, and with some success. You know, it's not like he's done amazing with it, but he's got a few open kill. I think it was on Fringe, so definitely a nice one to take out.
Probably going to be, I would say, Hawkeye removing overclock. Is that a safe assumption to make here? I mean, we've
overdrive also.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but there you go. Overclock. Machine better than Geo.
Oh, for the first time in my life, I'll take it.
Let's switch.
Yeah, we should stop that. Maybe I'll start doing the.
Well, everyone's trying to take your job at the moment, Machine. Jonas is chiming in, and now Geo.
Yeah, there's going to be a restart.
It's a restart. Yeah,
it's a restart.
All right, that's. I mean, Mad Cat got me a little bit excited there. I was sitting there like, right, time to justify combat focus. Fortunately, we don't have to because
I've had to do that before, and I was basically just lying to everybody. I said, oh well, you know, you could do something.
I remember it was actually
Zero picked it.
It was, and it was also Jonas who was talking to me. It was like our first day, and we were talking about. I was like, oh, combat focus, we never see that. And he's like, well, actually, you tried to justify it, Jonas.
Yeah, honestly, and I could still justify it. It's just like,
okay, here we go. Let's go.
I don't think it's gonna work, but if there is like one instance where it could work is that if you are sure to pick up one kill and then defuse the bomb, then it would probably grant you an HC, but I don't think it's worth it at all. I don't think it's worth it.
You don't get the double points when you plant the bomb or defuse it.
Oh, really?
Because
then it's useless.
It was a really good specialist if you could get double points from defusing or planting.
Oh, actually, my bad. We haven't seen it, so I wasn't sure.
Nope, still stupid.
We are going to be seeing the stat leaders, though. This is, of course, 0 at the top. Not so relevant as Jerd, as he is going to be the one competing. Sitting at that 1.15, that is of course across everything, every category, both objectives and in the slaying department. That's kind of testament to the style of player. Like if you read down that list, Bance is there as well. Like all of those names are the names that we keep harping on about. And in this instance, it will be Jerd. And of course, when we start talking about objective, he will be leading the pack. And that is primarily, I would assume, down to his uplink plays. Bryce.
Yeah, a lot of it, to be fair. I mean, it's just Jerd things. I mean, Twitter's all hype with it. It's just Jerd things. We haven't seen the full, like I said, we haven't seen full Jerd this year, I don't believe. And now we're seeing full Jerd. I think even, I saw a tweet actually come out of Epsilon saying, you know what, Jerd was one of the main factors in our hard point as well. We expected to take it, and Jerd's doing Jerd things.
Jerd is doing Jerd things, and actually turns out Mad Cat's doing Mad Cat things because we are going to be getting back into that ban and protect and going right back through it before we do get underway with our second map in our full 7 that we've got potentially coming up. But I do want to try and remind everyone at home that we have basically set this as SPLYCE's must-win game.
Yeah.
This is basically going to define whether or not we see the rest of the maps. It could be a 4-0, and actually, you guys predicted SPLYCE to win that one. I do want to kind of take an opportunity while we do have the additional time to perhaps say why. You guys went from saying Millennium are the best team, they've had a fire lit and everything, to all three of you predicting SPLYCE. We didn't explore it before. I'm going to let you explain your answers now.
Mine was just purely tempo-based. That's when the bans and protect actually came out, I said, this may go against them, and for a while it did. Like I said, if it wasn't for Jerd throwing up what was probably like 90 to 100 interactions in that map, they could have very well lost. He was strong when they were weak, and then he was strong when they were strong, and it was very much a one-sided thing there coming in. But yeah, I predicted it, but I was very much in two minds about how it would actually go. New Millennium versus the tempo of SPLYCE, and then it turns up this speedier Millennium is better.
I actually did say Millennium, but
I'm pretty sure we had 3 SPLYCE, didn't we?
No, I did say Millennium, but I'm surprised it was this close.
That is
honestly,
a lie, because
it's not
you said, well, Geo said SPLYCE, and he's always right, so SPLYCE was your exact word.
No, I said, so I'm annoyed, I'm still going to say Millennium.
Yeah. You follow with me.
Yeah, you follow Geo. Well, Jonas is just really, he's everywhere at the moment. We're going to have to go to Geo and actually suggest why you suggested SPLYCE.
Okay, we're watching here David versus Goliath.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have SPLYCE, that's David, and Goliath, that's Millennium. You know what? I've always been with the worst side. I don't know, it's like something from... I don't know, I'm really looking for SPLYCE to win this map.
So you're telling me you're a fan of the underdog.
Yeah.
You like that whole story of a team that are not favoured to win, overcoming all.
Imagine what will happen if 3 new players, 3 newcomers to the scene won that championship.
And imagine if the emotions Josh would be feeling, beating not only ex-teammates, but a team that has caused problems for him in the past in this first stage of the COD World League Pro Division for Europe. We are going to be getting back into this one. I do want to also highlight that the HVK was being created. I literally just saw the classes there, and there was some HVKs in play. And actually, Bryce, you've kind of kept hinting about it off air. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to bring it up on air.
This is something I noticed when I actually went over to America a few months ago now. And I believe we are seeing a faster and faster meta coming to Call of Duty. The HVK is part of that because it allows you to kind of run and gun a little bit more. It's almost kind of a SMG-esque play coming through. But yeah, I think the HVK is now starting to bleed more into things. We've seen Rated do so well. We've seen Madcat picking up here. The players we're using in that last game, I think if you're not going to run a full 3 subs, 1 AR, then the HVK is that kind of great middle point where you can have your second AR if you're running that, actually run a HVK and be able to put pressure on and be useful and still be able to hold the cuts with the long range shots. So like I said, I think it's a very great middle of the range gun. And if you're not using a Man of War because you don't think it's got the, you're not good enough with it, or if you're not going to use an ACR because you don't like the DPS or the time to kill, the HVK is the one to take.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think it's a great weapon. I think it really is between the AR and the SMG. There is no weapon like that. Maybe the ICR could be in that category, middle of the class as well, but I just feel like the HVK is just an overall better weapon to the ICR.
We'll keep our eyes peeled whether it does turn up or not, but we are going to be seeing a complete, I was going to say a mirror matchup, but actually Vision Pulse and swapped out for Overdrive. It's actually Millennium who have made the executive decision to not take Overdrive despite its availability. We've seen a trend like this actually in the Millennium Epsilon game as well, where people would just, I think it was actually Epsilon who chose to keep it and Millennium didn't. Millennium have been steering clear of Overdrive, it seems. This is coming down to the pressure thing again here. This team is very, very tactical when it comes to this. You can see a lot of pre-aiming, making sure they execute properly. It's not like this team just go, you know what, let's all just rush in. So if you're going to use Overdrive, you need to be able to trade. So they're not confident doing that here. Josh is probably going to be a little bit more confident going forward on his own or allowing somebody to come with him. Millennium don't play like that, so there's no point in them taking Overdrive.
I think it's a great pick, Overdrive, especially for the B bomb side, but because it's inside the cave and the one will get first inside.
For the defense or for the offense?
Both.
Okay, so just getting onto that site and having early control, early presence is the most important factor. And of course, yeah, Hunted is home to that, well, very, very unusual and unique bomb site that I know we've already explained just how unique it can be. You've already got basically so many different approaches. You can come from the water above with the wall run, both sides of the cave. You have choke points that you didn't even realize were choke points initially because of the obscured vision in the water as well. Angles that just still haven't been explored fully, and it is definitely a bomb site that we're going to be seeing a lot of action on over the course of these next 11 rounds potentially. Are we going to be seeing a full 11 rounds, ladies and gentlemen? I'm looking at you first, Gio. Let's get that prediction going.
I would love to see an 11th round, but I'm going for 6-4 for Splyce.
6-4, believing in Splyce a second time. Jonas?
Splyce round 11.
So wait, what on earth is this desk? Now we're predicting Splyce two times out of 2. We were expecting Splyce to pick up the win. Bryce, you the same?
No. I'm going to go with Millennium here. 6-3.
Still an unusual outcome from our desk. Despite suggesting Millennium are going to be picking up this win, they also seem to be thinking a little bit with their hearts rather than their heads, you two. I'm looking at you, as of course this has been highlighted as a must-win for Splyce. CTF and Uplink are most definitely going to be in Millennium's court, but this is their opportunity to keep the series going, keep their hearts beating, and to guide you through the action. It's going to be Maven and Momo.
Thank you, boys. This could be the biggest game of the series, right? Do we get the comeback kids that we've seen in Splyce? They've been so good. No matter what the deficit in S&D, can they continue that streak?
It's do or die right now for Splyce. They lose this, I think it's game over. However, Josh on S&D has been phenomenal throughout the whole weekend.
He really has.
And I think he's the one to watch, really. But Millennium, you know, they took down Epsilon in S&D. They've looked really strong in the one S&D they played, if you like. But Splyce have had a lot of practice this weekend, but I'm going with Millennium.
Well, interesting thing here, looking at the Millennium. You have Madcat with an M8. You actually have 2 XR2s. Tommy and Swanee both going to be pulling out the XR2. Let's get to someone that'll probably be in on the action quickly, and that is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Jerd, having a huge performance. And look at the stack right now across mid and A. Not a lot of pressure at all towards B on the defensive end, and Tommy's going to open things up there with the frag.
I'm sure that frag kill was actually in the water. I'm not sure how that happened. However, Twitter did just explode with what Jerd has just done. He's the bomb carrier at the moment. However, 4 versus 3, numerical advantage, and look at them just walking into B, no problems at all, not even challenged.
Yeah, nobody home at all. They had everything stacked towards mid and A, and this is going to give a free plant and the opening kill, which already disrupted things so much for the side of Splyce. Jerd just shoulder peeking here with the M8, trying to tag one up, saw him hop across, and he is just doing such a good job being annoying here.
Look at that. He just knows exactly where they're coming from, and the distinct lock on there, and wow.
Perfect plays.
See the rest.
Perfect plays. Jerd just teasing and pleasing there behind the bomb site, being such an irritating player as they try to take him out, but he's just bobbing and weaving there behind the wall.
And I don't want to jinx things. However, if Millennium do manage to close this out 4-0, I know there's only 2 series that they have actually played, but it would be the perfect tournament for them. They wouldn't have dropped a map, and so far so good. Not even a player going down for Millennium.
All right, round 2, offense now for SPLYCE. We'll take a look at the minimap and see what kind of break we're going to get. Looks like a 2-2 split on defense and a more typical B push coming out of Hockey and Crew. Now, oh, he saw one cross for sure. Who's that pushing up mid-map? That is Jared. He's going to have one at the corner. Can he win it? Not going to be able to take the gunfight. First blood going to be going to Josh.
Yeah, super confident from Jared. He did have one player backing him up, and I think that was Tommy here. He's just taking a different stance, but with a CUDA, not sure how this is going to pan out. He could find himself, yeah, Hawkeye with a wall bang actually there. Favors SPLYCE, and now 4v2, they should be able to close this one out.
Well, Mad Cat's going to be the man to rotate first over from A, but this is so tough. Your 2v4 bomb going down now. You'll see Bance getting the plant. Josh has picked up a couple kills in this round. Now you have Mad Cat. Can he pull off a 1v4? We saw it done earlier by Reedy. He's got 40 seconds to work with here, taking his time. You have to play fast. If you're in a 1v4 bomb down, you just have to almost play like a maniac, right? You don't have time to be methodical. You have to go, go, go. He will get caught mantling as soon as he pops out of water.
Yeah, and I think he was expecting someone to challenge him there in the water, but no. To his surprise, he actually had to go hunting. In fact, someone did just drop behind him there. It was Josh, and Mad Cat was never going to pull that out. However, going on the board for SPLYCE. As they shut down Millennium now in the Search and Destroy. 1 apiece. Are we going to see another round 11?
Oh, God, we've had so many this weekend. I'm trying to see. Let's take a look through the classes. A little bit different here. You had their first offensive push was 3 ARs. They're going to go 2 and 2 this time. Jared going to be the lead man out as they're going to push across. Let's look at the view of Vortex as he's going to be the one that might be able to spot this out as they push, but they're going to fly in window actually. They go right in. They get control. They see one at back patio. Did Mad Cat actually see him?
I'm not sure if he did, you know.
Oh,
Mad Cat.
Yeah, that's Tommy. That's Tommy.
Hit trigger happy there with the finger. Mad Cat, he's just going to sit down and wow, look at Josh. He's going all guns blazing, isn't going to take it out, and Jared, ironically, the one to take him down. Bance is going to answer back with one. And Bance actually sniping. This is a little bit...
What is this?
No scope coming in from Bance there, and that typical sounds it up, and we see 3 back-to-back, and Millennium taking round number 3.
Millennium looking so good. Yet to drop a map today. Can they keep it going here in the S&D? We'll see Swanee closing things out up close and personal there with the RK5. And this is looking good so far for Millennium, but you got to remember, SPLYCE not phased by any lead. Specifically, when you're talking about search and destroy, they're going to be back to the offensive side of things now. Vortex yet to get on the board. Let's spy on with him here to open things up.
Yeah, Vortex has been phenomenal in the respawns especially. Let's see what he can do in this S&D. He's wielding the M8, and it looks like the team is actually pushing to B. We're going to get some interactions sooner rather than later. And again, is that Jared and Tommy pushing through the water?
One right underneath. Let's check. Looks like Tommy's just going across, maybe to assist on A bridge if needed. So Jared sort of by himself at B, at least for the time being. And there he's tossing another smoke. He's trying to delay this push. You don't want to fly through it. Excellent stuff there. Got to love the strap from Jared.
Yeah, Jared just taking his time. He senses someone, and his senses are right. There is just someone just around the corner. He will see him. Drops into the water, and Jared has his number. First kill on the board. First blood goes down, but Josh answers back now a 3 versus 3 as Josh dives to safety there.
Well, he's going to be able to get the bomb now, and that's Vortex picking up his first kill, and it could be a big one in this round as it gives his squad a 3v2 advantage. Josh flying in, finding one at window. That's Swanee getting shut down, and now you find Mad Cat 1 versus 3. He's going to have some time to work with once this bomb gets down, but it is a tall task.
Yeah, 1v3 again for Mad Cat. It just doesn't seem like his day at the moment, except the fact that obviously they've won their first map. Let's see what he can do, though. See if he can pull off the miracle.
Yeah, he has to get going here. Doesn't have a ton of time to work with. And then this is good from SPLYCE. They're not going at him one by one. They're just waiting for Mad Cat to make the initiating battle here. One straight through the door, and just like that, SPLYCE, calm, cool, collective, the 3v1, make it look easy.
Yeah, Mad Cat didn't have much choice there, and he just didn't know even who to aim for. He could feel EMPs. He could, you know, he saw one flanking around there, and Josh just taking him down in the final kill count. Of course, Josh and Mad Cat, this is the first time, this first title actually, they've not teamed together. Friendly rivalry, by all means, best of friends, but they are battling here for a lot of money and, of course, the bragging rights.
All right, what do you want to see here on offense from Millennium going into this round 5, Momo?
I mean, I want to see the same aggression we've seen all round, and it looks like I'm going to get that on this B-bomb side. They seem to take it last time so easily, and it looks like they're going to be able to walk in with no contention at all.
This is the second full-on A stack that we've seen from SPLYCE. I'm not sure if they did some homework and this is what they expected. A push is out of MILLENIUM. Unfortunately, this is yet another free plant for MILLENIUM on offense, and now they're going to know something's up. The rotation's going to come. Tommy will be able to deal with a couple coming out here. I think, no, it's a big win for Hockey. He's able to get it. Now they have man advantage as they're going to collapse on the B site.
And this B site, yes, you've got the bomb down. However, these 4 players can pinch this in every single angle and should be able to retake this theoretically. But with the likes of Swanee looking like this, again, 2v4.
Swanee being taken out on the collapse. Or sorry, so Swanee's teammate on the other side being taken out. Now he is going to drop a Mad Cat. Yet another 1v3. He will drop. That's Josh. 5 streaks, 7-2 on the bomb. Give me the Hellstorm. Give me the Dart. He's got the HC as well. His overdrive's locked and loaded. And this is not the first time we've seen Josh this weekend getting fully streaked out in S&D.
Not at all. I mean, he started hot in the hard point. He didn't manage to close that one out. However, just their strategy, they said, you know, you can have B. You know, we'll simply, as soon as the bomb is planted, we'll pinch you. We will push you back into a corner and retake that site. And that's exactly what they did there. Josh just communicating with his team.
Well, it looks like they're fine with them getting the plant on B. They feel confident, I guess, in their retake game on this side. And there you saw them execute very well. Let's go to Josh because he's going to kick off here with the overdrive soaring towards this A site. But they're not going to expect him here at all. Not in any way, shape, or form do they think he's going to be in this position.
They've just cleared out. They basically watched A and seen nothing over bridge, but they didn't see Josh's overdrive. They think A is clear and they're presuming a strong B push. However, Josh has basically infiltrated the enemy base. And actually a HCXD has just come out from MILLENIUM, and they're going to soon realize that B is clear too.
Well, let's check this for a second. Josh, I think, got tagged up. Rotating over is Jared, and that is Josh being taken out. So the overdrive not leading to anything. He'll be taken out by the HC of Jared, and now it's a 4v3 for MILLENIUM. Let's take a look at the defense here on the B site. That's Jared sitting behind bomb, taking his time, waiting patiently. In water, you're going to find Tommy dropping to even things up here. You got 25 seconds on the clock. Bomb yet to be planted. Bance trying to get forward here. Can he do it? Checking all of his corners, but that player saw him. You see the X-ray vision coming forward. You're not planting mob, playing defense, buddy. 3 streak for Vortex.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that no one can trade it. Jared is just, no, it's Mad Cat with a grenade. Jared must have called out that the bomb was down, and Mad Cat said, no problem. I'll put a grenade on that, and here you go. Classic grenade, and wow, I bet he didn't expect to pick up the last 2 with that.
I don't think you had flak jacket on anyone except probably the bomb planter who dropped, because you saw an HC kill Josh. You saw the 2 drop there to the frag. So you might see some more flak jacket classes coming out now.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, it's almost a staple in some search and destroys when the HCXD is in play. But MILLENIUM back on the attack. 3-3 in this search and destroy.
And yet again, you have this A stack on defense. They're like, they say plant it. We feel confident in the retake. Player hopping in water is going to be Josh. He'll make sure nobody is crossing. He still has full streaks, and now he's going to push over towards B. You see the player there in water, right through that waterfall. Will Josh get surprised? No, he's going to get into hut, and he's going to have one right to his left corner, right around, slowly going. It goes vertical, but ends up like hitting the ceiling there. Kind of throws off his jump a bit around the corner.
Yeah, and this time round, they're at the numerical disadvantage trying to do the retake, so MILLENIUM could close this one out. 2 are coming through. Jared's going to take him down. Jared with the second, and now Bans for the 1 versus 4. Surely you can't do this.
Nope, shutting it down. MILLENIUM stringing together a couple rounds here, and that's big because he had kinetic armor too and gets to save it. He gets the 2-piece, doesn't have to use his ability. That's going to come in key here in another round. But I mean, you remember, Josh, I think, still has everything, right?
Yeah, Josh, I mean, he used his overdrive, but he's still fully streaked out. I'm just wondering what Jared has, because I know that was 2 kills back-to-back. He has kinetic armor, I believe. He's on a 4-kill streak. Is that? Yeah, and he's got the HC, so close to that dart, I believe.
All right, well, here we go into round 8. Going on with Josh right now just because he still has those streaks, but you've got another pretty aggressive A defense here. Oh, you see the HC car on the map. It's coming through. Tommy able to take that one out. A couple of gunfights going in. Jared backing players up, deciding, oh, well, nope, sorry. Tries to take out the Hellstorm. Not going to be able to connect as he's going to be taken off the map. Mad Cat, however, responding. 3-2 advantage here for MILLENIUM. And they look at Swan. I think Tommy has the bomb directly under his feet.
Yeah, and I was just thinking then as well, Josh has invested a whole lot into this round using that Hellstorm, but Tommy getting the hell out of dodge there with that glitch, and for once, you know, he's used it just to bide himself a bit more time.
Oh, did he see him cross? Did Tommy see him cross? I don't think he did. Oh, they're going to rotate over. You have glitch still. Does he end up popping it? He wrapped the whole way around. Looks like he wants to save it. Nope, there he will get it. Can't get out of dodge, though. It will be wasted. And now Vortex, 30 seconds to work with. Going to go for the plant. On the other side of things, Mad Cat has his camo to close. You have Vision Pulse as well. But Vortex, this might be a round to consider using the camo. 1v2. If you get that first kill, you can pop it and go, oh, so clutch.
This could be a big moment in Vortex's career here. If he can just clutch this one. And he's planted it on a side where he can check. Vision Pulse has been used by Swanee.
Uh-oh. That means he's probably sticking it. They knew he ran out. He might stick it. There it is. How close will it get? Can he close it out? Here comes Vortex. He is popping the camo, but gets bursted before he can do anything, and Swanee gets the defuse.
Yeah, I want to see this final kill, because camo was used here, but Mad Cat read it like a book. Let's see how he saw him. They're just coming around this corner.
He definitely had camo use. Oh,
he did.
Oh, that is... Well, what's tough there, it's hard to hit shots on a camo player, but not when you have that... he didn't have a choice to make as far as where he's aiming, really. It's such a tight little angle there he's shooting at. It's almost impossible to miss, right? As soon as he saw that shimmer, he lines it up. Mad Cat going clutch.
I would have loved to seen him use camo with the water and just pop out of the water, kill that bomb plant, diffuser, should I say. But Millennium 5-3 up. Can they finish it here?
And we talked about Jared saving that kinetic earlier in the game and still getting the two-piece. He's got it primed and loaded now. He may end up bullying some players. A 2-2 split on defense. Mad Cat pops the camo. Bance is the one up top, and he's going to run right into it, unfortunately. First blood here for Millennium.
Mad Cat does fall, though, and that is trade. Jared still has that camo, but Josh, he's got to do this for a retake, and he's got a dart, but I don't think that's going to be useful at all. HCXD is on the field for Jared. He still has this kinetic armor.
It gets taken out, not able to connect now. Jared, pop it up. He has the kinetic. Unfortunately, everyone coming in from the back, but he's still going to have a little bit left there. There's one. Not able to get the second. Tags that player up, though. It's going to be 1 versus 2. Hockey has to clutch. He's getting shot from everywhere. He sees him at the corner, not able to take it. Other player in water. 15 seconds to go. He's got to make a play. He's just blind firing now as he can't get a good angle on these guys. There's one. Not enough time to go, and that is going to be Millennium taking it here. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, Tommy, I love the fact that Tommy didn't jump out of the water. He stayed there, did a little bit of backstroke, and he baited him out. 6-3 for Millennium, though. Great second map. And now, we predicted, obviously, those uplinks and CTFs to only go one way. What a series.
Yeah, and I asked, you know, is it the SPLYCE Marathon or is it the Millennium Massacre? Right now, looking very good for Millennium after taking the S&D. You know, the analysis thought that maybe this is one SPLYCE could steal. That is not the case as Millennium closes it out with the 6-3 victory. I think it's exactly what Brycey said, actually.
I didn't even notice till the end. They're banked 1 and 8. I mean, that's a performance we never really see from Bance. He's kind of the one usually, you know, top fragging for his team on S&D.
Could not agree more. Want to hear the guys' thoughts here on the Game 2 in the grand final. Machine, take it away.
First 2 maps done. Thank you so much, Maven and Momo. And for the first time, something crazy has happened, something rather unusual. It only took us 3 days. It only took us a whole lot of games.
Wait a minute. A lot of my predictions have been spot on. I've just got the scoreline right for a change.
Bryce has got his prediction right for the first time.
Yeah, the scoreline was that. Now, I actually kind of decide this map a lot on a really, really weird thing. And I basically just think I pick the team that I think is better at long range, and they're going to win that map a lot of the time. And a lot of time it plays true. I just think it's those who are better at taking those long-range engagements will win this map.
On Hunted, am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah.
What long-range engagements, please?
Mid.
You're talking out of your bottom.
That's the way I pick. I just told you. It's not the guy. I didn't say it was the greatest way to pick it. I just said that's the way a lot of the time I give the advantage to them.
Okay.
Holding things down with the MA at long range, taking those engagements. I think AR players have a better time on this map. I said a lot of it around B bomb site is just a mess.
It's all close range.
Yeah, but it's a mess. I've described this bomb site a million times. That bomb site, it's like any other bomb site on the game with 3 smokes on it. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a mess of a bomb site, which is why, you know, if you're going to go with consistency, you go with the other players, you know, long range.
There's a mess for you. Double nade from Mad Cat. I tell you what, you don't see them every
Look how well their close range will help them out there.
Absolutely. They work at close range. Oh, we're getting to see it again. You get to see it as super, mega, super slow-mo. As Vortex is like, get out while you still can. Hawkeye can't quite react in time, and it did bring the round to 3-3. But, I mean, I'll go to you over there, Gio. You anticipated SPLYCE to maybe pick this one up, but was that prediction of your heart, or was that your brain?
It's from my heart. I told you, I want David to win against Goliath.
Yeah, you had that underdog kind of hype.
Yeah, but
up.
I think that you're playing. He played insanely good. I mean, have you seen how he used the smoke during the B offensive? During the B offensive, I mean, sorry, the B defensive side. It was like the second round, I think. He just used the smoke to slower the offensive of SPLYCE. It was incredible. I mean, he's really smart. He's not also skilled.
Yeah, no, they're definitely all of players from Millennium just heads up play, just doing what they needed to do. There was this defensive side on the bridge where Tomei was sitting behind something, and it just had a great cover from his teammates. So they've just been playing well as a team, and now I can only see this going one way if they keep playing this well.
Yeah, we need to address that right now, right here, right now. Uplink and CTF, we've been outlining it from the start that this indeed was a must-win for SPLYCE. So was the hard point if they wanted to compete in this best of 7. You guys suggesting that with those two under the belt of Millennium, this is a 4-0, clear-cut as you like. Uplink Fringe is the map and game type.
So, now I'm trying to remember exactly how this was explained to me earlier here. I think it was Epsilon saying that this is their worst map. So, but against Millennium it was their worst map. So I don't know whether that means that Millennium are really good here, or Epsilon are just even worse than normal.
And that just all of a sudden, as soon as those words come out your mouth, I imagine the Jerd 1-pointers. He had these ridiculous 1-point routes straight from middle. It takes him 3 seconds. We timed it. 3 seconds. He picks up the drone. 3 steps on the side of the wall, and he lines it up with Weather Vane and gets a 1-pointer every single time. Like, no one can throw it as consistently as him, and that's something that we have to be cautious of. We saw what he did to Epsilon, and I would almost, you know, have the audacity to say that Epsilon and SPLYCE are on par, if not, perhaps SPLYCE have a tiny bit of an advantage over in towards Uplink. But here we go. It is going to be the ban and protects, and again, we see the same story. The ARs are going to be targeted, Jonas.
Yeah, and the first one's going to be the Man of War directly targeted at SPLYCE. I mean, this is the AR the SPLYCE lineup has been most successful with. Now Josh, in response, has taken the M8 out. I don't think this is going to be too much annoying for Millennium. I think they're happy to play, like we said, with HVKs, which XR2s. XR2 is going away, so that's not as good for Swanee.
Yeah, this is taking away anything long range. From
Maybe we will see the Shiva this time.
We haven't really seen
it.
Oh, that was a funny cast from Jonas. He didn't know who to support.
No, it was like, I love the French. The French are winning. They're also losing.
That was an amazing French accent.
Much better French accent.
Now, you know when Jonas is doing a good French accent, that's a real achievement.
Okay.
Hawkey, yeah. But talking of Hawkey, he's been my player to watch this entire tournament from SPLYCE, and the fact that they have made it to the grand final, I think I'm always impressed by someone that hasn't been in a situation like this before and continues to thrive. I think it's very telling of a person's character and ability to be like to have this surprise factor. Bantz was the same yesterday. People said, you know, Bantz hasn't been in a scenario like this where you're in a semi-final, one game means everything, and he's gone and done it today, and he's going to be someone to watch. I think Hawkey is going to be an individual that could very well be the do or die factor for SPLYCE. But all eyes are on Millennium now to
games to lose right now. The better Uplink team. They've been playing so well this series, and honestly right now I don't see Uplink going into Millennium. I feel like
excuse me, the specialist, the only difference I can see is Mad Cat getting back on his favourite Tempest, and Vortex deciding he'd be much more comfortable with the Annihilator, both doing the same role there, Gia.
I'm pretty disappointed that they didn't take the Tempest. I recognize it better than the Annihilator, especially because it can link to other players that are closer, or also use it as a defensive disguise.
Defensive disguise?
Alter, Essen sind mal richtig geil.
Quasi hat mir geschrieben, ey Jim, wollt ihr Scrim?
So you will have time to recover your health, to find
Ja, aber wir haben keine 4 Leute.
away. So it will be pretty useful, especially for uplink.
Something the Annihilator just doesn't do.
No. Yeah, and once again, also the Tempest does make the player spawn like 1 or 2 seconds later than a normal kill, because your body stays electrified before you can actually skip the, you get to the respawn delay. So there is like a 2 seconds delay that's being added on top of that.
And they'd never even considered that as a power of the Tempest. That's worth recognizing for sure. But you know the time it is, guys. We are into our third map in our grand finals here for the Call of Duty World League. Millennium picking up the first two. Hardpoint, Stronghold, and Search and Destroy Hunted have both gone the way of the Millennium Brits. Could we really be seeing the 4-0 now? It's what the desk outlined before. Is this story not going to be quite the fairy tale that we once anticipated, Bryce?
No. Basically, this is going to be quite one-sided, I think. Well, I imagine we'll see, Judge start doing flips and stuff and just dunking it all over the place. 360s,
Ich hab mir jetzt einfach mal die Cap aufgesetzt.
Right, but believing in Millennium, Jonas.
Oh, Millennium.
Drüber das Headset, also so wie ein Nate Shot.
Very clear cut. One of the best uplink teams, if not the best uplink teams, the best uplink player, Jerd, rising through the ranks. And how about you, Gio? Are you going to be joining the club?
SPLYCE, they are cracking my heart, but I will follow the law for them because I'm Italian also, and
you're a fool, Gio.
I think they're
straight down the barrel of the camera as well.
Yeah. Well, Gio has fallen in love with SPLYCE and his love affair.
Game 3, the Millennium Wrecking Ball continues
Momo
to
und
just
Maven,
roll through
Alter.
SPLYCE. Do they have a chance in this one?
Uplink, I don't think so. Something's got to go crazily wrong for Millennium. And, does Jerd start missing the one-point plays that he has never done before? Or does, SPLYCE flick a switch? I'm not too sure, but I'd be favoring Millennium in this game type more than any. But Millennium still on this kind of perfect tournament. They've not lost one map so far and looking so strong in every single game mode. Looking good so far. But let's get into it.
All right, you have 3 HVKs to open things up for Millennium. Going to start with Mad Cat. Off the rip as they're going to fight for drone control. We'll take a look at the break here. He wants to go high off the wall. See if he can spot anyone. No one at white truck. There's one at the corner. The movement so nice as he should be able to get in behind a player here to his right. And there is the opening kill for Madcap, but the rest of his team unfortunately drops. What's nice is he made them rotate back, at least for a second, delayed this push. Now they toss it into the corner there. Who's inside a barn? Well, it's the player that's going to get spotted out by Tommy, and Tommy's going to be able to clean it up. There's one more player coming down tracks, though. Vortex might be able to make a huge play. They're able to get the drone out, though, just trying to tease a bit as the pressure from SPLYCE is on.
Yeah, Tommy actually picked up a 3-piece there as well as picking up the drone. Vortex tries to answer back, but no. Tommy's just kind of waiting for his teammates.
Gut aus, die SPLYCE gerade.
Needs to reset that armor, really, and just get out of there. He's still alive somehow.
How is he alive? He brings it back to mid. He has such good routes here, but the rest of his team dropping. It's going to be Jerd by himself. He's going to rotate back as he knows the pressure is coming. Drone falls to Bats. He's got the whole squad with him until Jerd rips one off the map. Does he get the toss off before he falls? It is caught by Swanee. I'm not sure if that one was on point or not, but regardless, it gets off the map.
Always entertaining to see Swanee get in the action with that drone, and that's going to be a reset. Hawkey's actually going to go for a one-point play. No. Shut down. Jerd and Madcat combine now, and Jerd himself has picked up the drone. He's not, he loves a good one-point play over this Granny Hill.
See if he lines it up. He knows his route. He tees up the toss. Over it goes. And God, he's the best in the business. 1-point toss through for Jerd. I'm sure I'll be saying that a couple more times throughout this one.
Yeah, Jerd just does not miss these. I'm sure eventually he will. However, manual pass again from SPLYCE. They're trying to hit it hard on that back right. And Hawkey's actually not picked up the drone, just pushed forward for this spawn control.
Yep, this might actually give them a dunk if they can pick up a couple more kills. There's one hit
Millennium hat zwar einen Punktkraftenoblick, aber SPLYCE spielt viel besser. Von Taktik her anders, Alter.
Nein, ich bin Baseballschläger.
Closes things down at home, and now they're flying forward. Jerd has a lead blocker. I don't even know if he needs him because his 1-point tosses are so strong. Resets the armor. No way! With a hand in his face! Can't bury it. That was a tough shot.
Yeah, that's going to slide off the roof there, but it's going to be in dangerous territory. However, SPLYCE do pick up the kills that is needed, and Hawkey's going to retrieve that and reset it, in fact. And now
spielen ja alle auf AVK, Alter.
Tommy does find an assist there as
AVK, ne?
Ja, alle mit LV-Visier.
Vortex, will he go for that manual
pass? No,
this time he's wrapping around.
Zweitwaffe.
Well, talk to me here. Millennium is the favorite, clearly, in this particular
Aber alle, Alter.
What can SPLYCE do specifically to try and combat this excellent uplink team?
Alter.
They're a team of slayers, and yes, they're coming up against the best of the best, but if somehow SPLYCE can outslay Millennium, they just need that map control.
Johnny, soll ich fragen, ob wir gleich, von Quantix fragen, ob du mit Scrim mitmachst?
He'll take it and run with it. It's currently 1-0, but they actually seem to be stopping him quite
Ja, also wir sollen gegen also Quantix hat mich gefragt, ob wir 3 und dann noch 4. Mann Scrim gegen sein Team machen wollen, gegen das 2 Team oder so. Ja, wir beide, du und noch und 4. Mann, keine Ahnung mehr.
Lines it up. Does it go through? No, that's actually 3 misses now for Jerd over the top of Granny's. Again, not the easiest, but still, he's been making them all. What's going wrong?
Yeah, I mean, is the pressure too much for him right now in the grand final here? I mean, it's not like Jerd, let's put it that way. Let's see how the rest pans out, but at the moment, it could have got, you know, a couple more one-point plays. He comes in. Headshots around. Can you get the third? No, decides to keep.
Ich sag ihm vielleicht morgen, also sag ich Quantix. Auch mehr Bock auf Arena.